So we will also talk about the foundations of public speaking, voice, body, and the presence of your actual speech, structuring a speech, impromptu speaking. Oh my gosh, that can be nerve wracking, of course. Practice, 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 and getting feedback. And then we'll have a wrap up and some reflection. So we will probably just go right to about 40 minutes. And then we'll have a short follow up meeting with Saya and also Allie, if you are available. So let's get going. Move right on. Okay, here we go. Got something fun for you. If it'll work, of course.
Okay, just get up on that podium. All right, I'm here. That was easy. Now I just need to, oh my gosh. How many people are in the audience? 100? 1,000? Don't count. Okay, I can do this. I'm gonna focus on my notes. What did I have written down again? Hello. Okay, if this sounds like your worst nightmare, you're not alone. Actually, you're one of the estimated 70% of the population that has an intense fear of public speaking. And that's okay, because on today's Wellcast, we've got our triple P method that will get you through and get you calm during that next oral report and keep your breakfast where it belongs. You ready? Many polls list public speaking as the most commonly reported phobia among Americans. It's called glossophobia, meaning literally fear of the tongue. A study by Texas Christian University tested 48 women and 48 men enrolled in a public speaking class and found that those who exhibited high trait anxiety had the most physical symptoms of distress when speaking publicly. So, what if you're the kind of person whom any bit of social acrobatics is tantamount to entering a lion's den? Hey, calm down. Okay, I'm just kidding, but seriously, calm down, all right? We've got our triple P method that'll get you through that next public speaking gig. Pause and print this Wellcast worksheet. Step 1, prepare, prepare, prepare. We said it 3 times because it's that important.
There are 2 things that go into being prepared. Number 1, knowing your subject backwards and forwards. 2, knowing exactly how you're going to present it step by step. In your Wellcast worksheet, write down the major points that you want to get across to the audience. Get the ideas out of your head and onto the paper.
In the next column to the right, start ordering these points in a logical manner. Arguing your point to the audience and winning them over is like a boxing match. First, start with some fancy footwork, a fact or an anecdote that will hook the audience in and get them to pay attention to you. Then, throw a couple of swings, supporting evidence for your argument, stats, personal stories, something that will start to convince the audience that you're taking control. And finally, the knockout. A landing blow of statements that's memorable, convincing, and sums up your speech's position. All right, step 2. Posture and physicality are key. Part of keeping your anxiety big while giving your speech is knowing what to do with your body.
Before your speech, avoid large meals or dairy products, which will make you feel like you need to clear your throat incessantly. Bring a bottle of water on stage if you're allowed. Don't be afraid to take sips throughout your speech. It'll keep your voice natural, and it gives you a moment to pause and regain your composure if needed. Stand naturally, not too stiff or slumped. Good posture will help you breathe and speak easier, and it'll let your audience know that you're calm and in control.
Step 3, panda to your audience. The best public speakers know how to work the room. Don't be completely serious unless the occasion calls for it. Don't read entirely out the cards. Keep a natural cadence pace. Throw a joke or a side in. It'll draw in a laugh. If there's a silence, then turn that into a joke. Stay natural, self-effacing, and the audience will be on your side. Let's recap. You'd rather face a poisonous reptile than public speak, huh? Well, follow the Wellcast Triple P checklist. Prepare extensively for your speech. Know your content backwards and forwards, and figure out the absolute best way to present it and to win over your audience. Watch your posture and physicality. This includes everything from standing naturally to breathing from your diaphragm.
And pander to your audience. Keep them in the palm of your hand and with an easy demeanor, natural cadence, and of course, jokes.
Okay, so that was power packed. I think that was so funny, but I think it was really right on as some of the things that we do struggle with, having that have to do with public speaking. I love the one about the posture is very important. You know, there oftentimes we are not used to having 10 eyes on us, 20, 30, or over 100. So this is something that you want to make sure that you're comfortable once you're there. Okay, so part of the icebreaker that I had originally mentioned and sent out as a homework assignment will include your introduction, also talking about some of the essentials, your thesis, and also three main, I think I gave you four main points that you need to bring out today, and then also just confirming your thesis. I think this is a nice natural way for you to start setting up the actual formatting of, of an actual outline. Now, outline is very, very important. I have a sample of one that I want to pull up because this is more of the final outline of what your speech might look like. So this particular speech is an example, and it's using how to improve your communication skills. And this is based on being a servant speaker. Okay, so as you can see, this is well written. They have the first portion gives some type of information, some type of fact or antidote is that is also really needed in gearing and keeping the attention of your audience. And then you go definitely into your introduction and you're going to point out the main topics. This one says three, but I believe the one that you were given has four different bullet points that I wanted you to address. And then of course confirming your thesis, telling us what to expect. The audience needs some type of idea of what to expect from the beginning, the middle, and end. It's like a storytelling episode. You want to know that. You have to give them a little bit of information to help keep their interest. Then you will go into the body of your speech. The body is where you're going to specifically outline all of the four areas that you've bullet pointed at the very beginning in this particular homework assignment. And then depending on how long your speech will be, will determine how many bullet points that you will have or that you will have to cover. The reason why we need an outline is because you want to have a format so you don't stray to the left, stray to the right, or that might, basically keep you on target. So that's why it's very important to have that. As you can see, it's a standard outline, and this just gives you the information that you will need to keep you on pace and on target. And then, of course, finally, you want to have a conclusion. Oftentimes, depending on the type of speech that you're giving, you might have a call of action, something that you want to challenge your audience with instead of just leaving them empty. Basically, you've already gotten them pretty much hyped up and you've already convinced them of your topic. You've given all the tools that you've learned this particular class. So you want to make sure that you don't leave your audience empty. And also, you can also ask if there are any questions, Q&A. And then additionally, if you are referencing anyone, always include your references. That gives you credibility as to being a public speaker. Okay, so that is something that I wanted to go over with you. I think it's very important. So let's move on to the next. Quickly, we're going to just talk about techniques and training. Planning appropriately is very, very important. Practice, practice, practice. The typical class that I teach for public speaking is a 3-month course. So as you can imagine, there's quite a lot of information that I will require from my students and illustrations working with their topic, their introduction, and then allowing them to practice and to peer advice from others, getting some feedback, etc. Make sure techniques is body language. It's so important, body language. Learning how to look across the room, making sure that you make eye contact. These things are very important. Um, one of the fear of public speaking is trying to identify with your audience. Oftentimes, you will know the demographics of your audience. Whomever is arranging your speech or the event should give you some information about who you will be speaking to. So you should already have those areas of the demographics of whom you will be speaking to, age groups, etc., because you want to make sure you are speaking to the crowd and knowing how you can really relate with them. Think positively, of course. We'll talk about coping with your nerves. That's something that most people have. As you see, that's one of the top phobias that people have is the fear of public speaking. And then another way, there's so many technical opportunities that we all have now. You can always record yourself, practice in private before you let anyone else see it. I think that also helps you to calm your nerves, and it's a great technique. Coping with your nerves. Oh my goodness, yes. Practice deep breathing. As a matter of fact, let's just do this now. Everyone, I want you just to sit up in your seat. Take one just quick breath. Now you're going to take a cleansing breath. Release. Repeat. Cleansing breath. Release. You'd be surprised that technique really does work. So make sure you do this. You might have to do it several times before you ever get to the podium, but that is a great technique and it really does work. Next, reframe your mindset. If you're already whatever, you need to kind of reframe that. If you're prepared, you'll be able to do that well. Admit to your audience if you are a little nervous, okay, because they can understand it. They're probably nervous too. But what you're doing is you're setting an example that you can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. And so this is really opening up some areas of confidence and really will reframe your mindset. Prepare thoroughly, focus on your audience, not yourself. That be one problem that we do have. Oh my gosh, am I perspiring? Am I twitching? Is my head tilted too much? Am I stuck where I am? Did I mean to say that? Did I say it? Did I clarify? So don't focus on yourself. You just let it flow and speak to your audience. You've already planned and your topic is viable. Use grounding techniques. We're kind of going over those now. Remember, start small, build confidence. Your speech could be 1 minute or it can be 20 minutes, right? Um, and during that time, you are in control of the audience and you are there to hold and get their attention with your message. We talked about the practice breathing. Again, you'll have this information. Inhale slowly for about 4 seconds and then exhale as well. So that's really important. Reframe your shifting your perspective reduces fear and boosts confidence. Also, prepare thoroughly. Being familiar with your materials builds the confidence. So when you're knowing this and you're passionate about it, that's going to help you overcome some of the fears that you might have. Focus on your audience, shifting your attention away from yourself, reduce self-consciousness. I think that's one of the huge problems speaking. There is so much from ourselves ourselves that we become overly self-confident about it. Using ground techniques, keep present and reduces that spiraling effect. You can sometimes tell if you're in an audience where someone has that drift. It happens, but your notes practice will kind of help you stay rooted. Start small, of course. Gradually expose your exposure will really reduce these fears. So that's why when you're practicing each time or having a conversation with others will really help you to build confidence. We need to also learn how to listen. We as the audience oftentimes are listening. We are so judgmental. I raise I am. That's one of I'm very critical sometimes about how someone is presenting themselves. I don't like it, but my brain is kind of wired that way. And I think because of that, it kind of distorts us when we are actually the speaker. So there's a culture of listening that we need to address. Focusing your attention, you can have brief notes, also, if you're doing this, you're not going to always just read the notes. You're going to learn how to just glance down and look at your note as a prompting to move on to the next one. Remove distractions, avoid prejudging, learn to listen for information that contributes to the knowledge of your audience and yourself to build and hone your skills on that. Honing listening skills, if the mindset starts to wander, and it sometimes does, we need to refocus, or it's a good time to just go back and say, let us just review real quickly. Here's a couple of points. So it'll kind of help you get back on track. 5 skills for public speaking. Okay, here are the 5. Clear, a clear and confident voice. Engaging in body language, structured outline and content, also audience awareness, visual aids, and storytelling. Remember, you are telling a story. A good book always is a good story that you don't want to put down. A good movie and suspense, etc. You're enjoying it and you don't want it to end. This is somewhat the same premise of public speaking. Your attire. Your attire, when you are giving a speech and you are before an audience, you should always dress one step above your audience, okay? You want to see that you are professional, know what you're doing, and you got this. You're there to help those that are. So these are just some of the basic information that you need to know about voice. Clear and okay, why does it matter? Because you want a strong, steady voice that conveys authority and keeps your audience engaged. Filter words. Oh my gosh, that's one of the hardest things. My son and I were teasing each other the other day about how many filler words that we have. A filler word is, um, um, yeah, um, and um, and it's kind of like this, and you repeat it again and again. It's kind of like this, or filler words are where you're trying to adjust to moving you on to the next step of your speech, and you'd be amazed. Take note if you ever video yourself on how many times you say and and those pauses. Those become very evident in showing the nervousness. Clear and confident voice. I have a chart of all the positive things that come out of having this, building this confidence, and then talking about the negative ones. Because of time, I'm not going to go over each one of these. I'll just go over the highlighted ones. The positive ones are for a clear and confident voice are steadying your pace, not too slow, don't speak very quickly, and you need to realize that there might be various of first languages in your audience, and you need to make sure you're not speaking too quick. Also, if it's too slow, people really, really will get bored and not really taking you seriously. Also, and you're noticing that I say as a transition as well, because I don't really coin myself as a public speaker. I am more of a storyteller, and it helps me to really be authentic in who I truly am. But you'll notice that I do say that a lot. And you know what? I'm really not trying to perfect that at this time, because my message is more important to my to my audience, than who I am and how I look and appear to other people. So I use my imperfections to my strength and not necessarily to my detriment. Various tones, some of us will get very animated. That's fine, but we need to learn to be very consistent in that. Use clear articulation. Make sure you don't use those filler words. There they are again. And also, this also builds confidence. I won't go over the negative ones. I will provide this information with you later, so you can review it as well. Body language, having the skills for public speaking, nonverbal cues like gestures, posture, facial expression, they reinforce your message. So we want to use good eye contact. You want to learn how to pan the room, okay? And you want to continue to do this throughout your speech. So a good way to adapt a proper procedure that's comfortable is maybe once you're changing topics, you might then start again panning your to the left or panning to the right, focusing on someone that's right in front of you, pinpointing, getting eye contact, maybe with someone that is in the audience, maybe that is nodding along that way. So these are ways of using those nonverbal cues, postures, facial expressions as well. So eye contact is very important because that enables people to identify with you as an individual. Positive aspects, eye contact, of course. Open posture. You want to make sure you're not closed up. You want to make sure you're not folding your hands. You want to be open. You might hold on to your podium as far as just to help steady yourself. And also these certain gestures you might use. I use my hands a lot. When I use my hands, it is promoting energy for me. So that is why you'll see a lot of individuals will use hands. They'll use situations like, first, we're going to talk about this particular point. Next, secondly, we're going to talk about that. So these forms of body language are very helpful, and they help to pace you, but more often they give you energy. Facial expressions, and make sure they match the tone of your message. If you're talking about something that is very solemn, or for example, if you are giving a eulogy, which a eulogy is public speaking, you might not want to have too many jokes involved. You may not have sarcasm. You want to match the tone of your audience. You don't want to be offensive. So that's what we mean about matching the tone. If your subject or your topic is something lighthearted and fun, then you can use that. You want to be consistent in using that particular tone throughout. And facial expressions, please smile. Please be welcoming and inviting. Please don't have a frown and be too solemn, because that is just a turn off. So try to engage by these facial expressions. Make sure you smile and be identifiable and identify with your audience. Now, I've already shown you the actual outline, and I will include that as in your topic, so you'll have that as well. So I won't go over that again. Structured outline. Why is it important? It helps to give your clear introduction, the body, and a conclusion. It helps your flow, and these are key in making sure you know what you're discussing. Now, you might have one format that you might choose to use in your public speaking, which may be this idea of focusing only where you might have the bullet points written down on your cards if you're using those for a prompt. And then it might allow you to be a little bit more natural when you're sharing something with your audience instead of relying completely on all of your notes to stay on point. You want to be a little more authentic. And when you don't always have things written down, it helps you to be a little bit more spontaneous and interesting. It really does allow you to have certain interruptions. Yeah, interruptions might come, pauses might come, or whatever, but it might have some time to take advantage of the situation. For example, if someone asks a question in the midst of your speech of clarification, that might completely throw you off. So getting back to your outline is very important. Also, time is managed well when you have this. So keep in mind that. Audience awareness, it matters because it helps tailor your message to your audience and increases the relevance and impact. Positive portions are using language and examples, help your audience understand, noticing when the audience is looking confused. If you're looking out in your audience and you see someone is like, I don't understand that, you can say, maybe I'll give you a little point of clarification without really noticing or letting them know, revealing that you see someone that might be confused. So that might be an opportunity for you to share. And also adapting a tone and pace to your audience, again, adds this energy, builds confidence, and it also gives that connection. Visual skills, visual aids, and storytelling. Oh my goodness. Well, looks like they're saying our time is running out. So I'm going to have to stop probably here and go into our introductions. Visual aids. I'm up in the air sometimes with visual aids because sometimes your visual aid may not work. Technology sometimes becomes a bummer, as you know that. So you will have all of this information provided to you, and I will send that out to you after today's workshop. But now, since we have about 9 minutes left, I want to get into our 1-minute presentation. So everyone take this moment, take that breath, take a deep breath. Take another deep breath and release. So the order we will be going in today, we will first start with Michelle. Michelle, I believe it's pronounced Fuller. I don't want to mispronounce it. Michelle Fuller will start first. Then we will have Portia, Allie, Saya, Archibald, and then Michelle. So Michelle F., I want you to start because I believe that you have a nice pulse on what you need to do, and we will go ahead and start with you. Michelle, let's welcome her. Everyone give her a hand. Okay, you're
Okay, reinventing myself. So my topic, self-sabotage, the need for mentors, intentional life changes, embracing the reinvention process. So I woke up last Monday convinced that I had to reinvent myself. As we know, Mondays are famous for starting a new diet. And so now I am ready to this change to start. My intent. 7 years ago, having a mentor in Corpus Christi really helped me through a life storm, a crisis. I was a stay-at-home mom of 10 years of twin boys, and I needed to get back to the workforce. So reinventing myself was obvious and dire to me.
okay. I'm
I
sorry.
am there.
I'm sorry
Is
to
it 1 minute?
You're up. 1 minute is up. Let's
Okay.
give it a hand. Thank you so much. You did great. You did great. Next, Portia, are you there with us, my dear? Miss Gilmore?
I am, but
Okay, you got 1 minute. We're ready for you.
well, I'm lost on my topic.
Okay, your topic is I'm lost on my topic. Move forward. Go.
I'm lost on my topic. Move forward. I'm going to.
The name of
Um,
my topic is I'm lost on my topic. Go for it.
I'm lost in my topic, but I'm going to refocus myself and get back on track by focusing on what my topic is that I'm discussing with you guys and staying grounded on what my topic is to give you a better understanding of what it is I want you guys to understand as far as me becoming the greatest leader I want to become in this 10 weeks course.
Okay, I'm going to ask you what, tell me something about Mondays.
Oh, Mondays are the start of the week, but you have to go in it with a positive light to know that the rest of the week will be greater than today, than Monday. And you have a lot to look forward to in the upcoming week.
Okay, thank you. Great job. Next, we have Ellie. Ellie, you're up.
Okay, so when I do public speaking, I try to focus a lot by using my hands.
Okay, let's
And
stop. I'm going to stop you, Ellie. What is your topic?
my topic is public speaking.
Okay, and what do you know about Mondays with that?
Um, Building off of what Porsche said, I think Mondays are the start of the week. Like she said, to come in it with a positive attitude. I think you also have to look at it from a planning perspective as well. Kind of when you're walking into your Monday, you want to plan out the rest of your week. And so kind
Okay.
of learning from it.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Thank you so much for that. Saya, you are next up.
Okay, my topic was the importance of keeping your brain active during the summer, especially as a college student. Knowing that Monday is the only day of the week with a one word anagram meaning dynamo makes me think of the definition also being a source of power and energy, which reminds me that even though Mondays often get a bad rep, they represent a chance for a fresh start, and that same mentality can be applied to how we approach summer break. Keeping your brain active over the summer can help you maintain your cognitive skills, and it sets you up for success when school resumes. And I mean, my intention was to share practical and enjoyable ways to stay mentally sharp, such as reading, solving puzzles, or picking up new hobbies, which also reminds me of Monday.
Perfect. You did the appropriate assignment. Very nicely done. Thank you. Archimore, do you have something?
Yeah, yeah, my topic was about taking initiative, and the reason why that is relates to Mondays is because Monday sets the tone for the entire week. So in order for you to set the course for how your entire week should go, you have to take initiative and plan things accordingly. And the reason why it was tied back to me was I remember I had a conversation with I believe it was Carol about taking initiative in different aspects of their life and how that goes hand in hand with leading. And so Mondays lead the week, so you have to lead the course of Mondays to prep yourself for what's to come.
Beautiful. Well done. Well done. Well done. Now, Michelle Bell, I'm going to give you a pass today because we ran out of time. We can do it next time. I'm sorry. We're going to move into Carol because Carol has something to share with us. Thank you, Carol. You're on.
Okay, my topic is laughing at the days to come. Now, hold on a minute. Was I supposed to do the 1 minute or did you give me the 5 minutes?
Well, actually, you have 3 minutes.
Excuse me?
You have 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, laughing at the days to come is a very difficult thing because most people get in situations where they're having trouble laughing at what's going on in their life. My intent is to take experiences maybe from my life, but also to help them view life, to see laughter moments in their life and how that can improve not only their health, et cetera, and other things in their life, but how we can look at this topic of laughter and get a better perspective on it and finding ways to move forward to find laughter in the midst of those situations and resources to move on to find resolve in their lives.
Right. Perfect. All right. Well, Michelle, actually, we have 1 more minute. I'm sorry that you're. Michelle, go for it. Turn your mic on. There you go.
I kind of misunderstood the assignment, but I'm going to try it anyway.
Okay.
My topic would be on positivity, but referring it to a Monday. Mondays is the first day of the week where we all struggle with, okay, it's like starting over each time. And each time you're positive, sometimes you're fighting a negative, and it's like starting over each time. You spilled your orange juice on a Monday morning, and oh my gosh, this is going to make me late. I've got it on my shirt now. The positive thing to do is, hey, I have the tools to clean it up. I have a different shirt I can pop on. So even though your Mondays can be looked at as something that you dread sometimes, being positive can overpower it.
Wow, you nailed it. You brought it. Impromptu, it works. You know why it works? Because the nerves, they have to disintegrate. So very nice. Nicely done, everyone. Sorry to rush through it all. We have less than a minute to go. I will send you out a copy of all of this wonderful information. I'll finalize types of public speaking: ceremonial, demonstrative, informative, and persuasive. So thank you guys. You did great, and you're one step closer. Love you all. Bye.
Bye.